Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. We have a great show for you today, as usual. Let's take a look at how our picks did yesterday. 3-4-1. SportsLine picks do not come through. Most of the live plays came through, though. Larry Hartstein was a push, but Amags hits his. Mikey B goes 1 for 2. I hit my golf play. Nick Taylor over Jacob Bridgman. A couple more golf plays coming your way right now. And by the way, I'm just going to mention it. I mentioned it in the SportsLine Discord. If you want to, it's just a lean. Patrick Cantlay over Justin Thomas goes off in about 2 minutes if you want to put that pick in. Not an official play, though. I wanted to put that out there since it starts at 10:05. But you know what starts right now, ladies and gentlemen? As always, it's BPE Friday.
Let's go! In your face and out. In your face and out. Let's go!
We got buckets.
Pow, 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 pow.
We got Danny Brasco. We got all of you in the chat. And most importantly, on a Friday, you've got your chip me up.
Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Early Edge fam. And oh boy, I got to tell you, because old Lynx Patterson, he ain't been happy with the results. You know, we had to call the tow truck to come pick me up on the side of the road. But I've been in the lab. I've been working on it. And just like when you need to put the driver away and just go to the 3-wood, just like when you need to forget your measurements and hit that 7-iron, we are going to get it back to basics. We are eating our vegetables. We are trying to win. So let's go get it going. BPE, let's go.
It's that type of energy, Brasco, that you got to love, because I assume you're here for UFC. And I got to say, if Chip was in my corner before a fight, I'd win every fight.
Straight up Teddy Atlas material right there.
Oh, yeah.
Chip's got me jacked up on a Friday. And guys, if you're in the live chat, I've got cricket plays firing away. The cricket playoffs are underway. We cashed a big 2-unit winner for the live chat folks that were there locked in with me. So I love to see the chat tailing cricket. We're all learning. People are asking questions. I'm here to educate. I'm here to hopefully cash some more bets. So yeah, we'll talk UFC, but always cricket in the chat.
And I don't know if you know Danny Brasco, and Buckets, you may not know this, but we're a mere Mario Addison days away from NFL kickoff. That's right, 97 days away, which can we be honest, that sounds like a long time, but once you get into like the high 50s, it starts to get very, very real. And I know this particular YouTube channel is just going to start pumping out the content as it comes to NFL. But Buckets, let's talk about the other football, the soccer. How you doing today, and what do we have to look forward to?
Doing okay. For those of you at home that might be a little confused like I am about the chip me up, a 7-iron is a golf club that is classified as a mid-iron. It is a versatile club used for approach shots from the fairway and rough, often between 130 and 210 yards. So just wanted to make sure we kept everyone on the same page. We all don't know all the same things, Chip, so we got to be careful there. I'm excited as well, though, because not only do we have some footy today, I guess. We've got a couple decent matchups. We've got the Champions League final tomorrow. We've got the most important football match of the entire season, the best of the best playing tomorrow afternoon. So I'm very excited for that, Sia.
All right, Buckets, before we get to your pick, I got to give some shout outs to people in the chat. We have Gipper's picks. I believe giving out, UFC plays or fight plays. Chris Kish noted Hovland over Oberg in the chat yesterday. That ended up coming in spite of the fact that Hovland kind of screwed up the last hole. He ended up beating Oberg. So shout out to Chris Kish. And
Did you see somebody said he saw a UFO on the 15th hole? Like,
no.
Victor Hovland is like a UFO head. He watches documentaries. You didn't know this?
I didn't know him and the Blink 182 guy.
Yeah. Victor Hovland is obsessed with UFOs. And every single time he goes to play this tournament in Muirfield, he goes to the jail where Shawshank Redemption was filmed. And so he's been there twice now. This guy is so intense with his passions. And the way that he finished, I think it's like bogey, birdie, bogey, double bogey to finish the round. Someone's like, sorry, Vic saw what he thought was a UFO on the 15th hole, and he just couldn't get it together the rest of the way.
I think he's an insta-fade for me at the moment. All right, because of the UFO comment. Big Cheesy. Actually, listen, we could go on. We could have a whole separate show on. I feel like there's more and more evidence. Can we just go around the horn real quick? Do we? But I don't even know how to pose the question. Chip, do you believe in aliens? Is it believe? Do we think there's extra life forms that are coming towards us? What's going on?
I think that there are a lot of individual passion projects and then maybe some government projects in terms of aerial devices that have tripped people up over time. And I think that the idea that there may be life outside, way outside, but I think the traditional I saw a UFO claim that we have from the mid 20th into the 21st century, I think there is usually a technological explanation that can probably be tied to humans here on Earth.
I adopt your answer. Danny Brasco, go.
I'm going to get a little more philosophical with it. You ask a broader question like, are we alone? I think no. I think math says no. I think humans thinking they're the only life forms in this entire massive universe is sort of like Earth ego. Like it can't be, I think. But like to explain how a lot of the ancient folklore about Quetzalcoatl, who was the first guy to travel by sea and teach people farming techniques and agrarian methods to then self-sustain themselves. He came with a feather in his cap. They didn't know who he was. That's an alien to them. So maybe the perception of what is alien, what is extraterrestrial isn't necessarily so. It's just how we perceive whatever we want to call it to make sense of it.
Buckets, I don't appreciate him giving us what we already know about Quetzalcoatl, because we already knew that, and he's just feeding it to us like we're in kindergarten or something. What's your answer to this? And then we'll finally get to some picks.
Danny thinks I'm an idiot by having to quote it. I mean, clearly we all know who Quetzalcoatl is, but I'm in the boat and I'm on the team. I'm full Men in Black. I think aliens are walking around us. I think they disguise themselves as people. I think that they are a part of this Earth already. I'm so pro alien. I'm all about it.
It's also like dinosaurs still exist. They're just deep underwater. Like you go and you see some of the deep sea creatures, and scientists are like, yeah, like these guys have been around. Like whatever came and wiped out the dinosaurs didn't hit this monstrous whale with crazy teeth that like only is super, super deep, way far away. So, there's it's always about the perspective that you're attacking some of these questions.
Believe it or not, this is a sports betting show. But I absolutely love the detour we just took. And for the record, we could go another 45 minutes on this, but most of you are in here not for this, but for picks. Buckets, start us off. We got soccer today.
I've got a play for us here today, and then I'm going to give my best bet for the Champions League final taking place tomorrow. Wanted to make sure we got that content in as much as we possibly could. But for the best bet today, we're going to the Ireland First Division, the Ireland Premiership, the top flight of Irish football. And we've got a great matchup between the Sligo Rovers taking on St. Patrick's Athletics. And if you know anything about the Sligo Rovers, which I know we all do, they are the worst defensive unit in the entire Irish Premier Division right now. They have played 17 games and they have conceded 33 goals. They do score a lot with 22 scored, but their defense is non-existent. They are playing a St. Patrick's Athletic side who is usually one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league. Right now they are 5th, but this is a team that knows how to score goals. I am taking St. Patrick's Athletics over 1.5 team total, currently priced at -120, because frankly, this should be -200. And if it was, I'd still take it. I'd take the juice on that. If you look at the head-to-head history, and if you look at how St. Patrick's is playing right now, they're struggling in their recent form, but Sligo Rovers is the perfect bounce back spot for them. Their last matches against them, they won 4-3 earlier this year. They won 2-0 last year. They won 3-2 last year. This is a team where they just don't even try to play defense. It is a punch-out Danny Brasco style every single time. Give me St. Patrick's Athletics team total all day on this one. And for our Champions League bet, the champions! Not sure if my mic picked that up. It doesn't matter. PSG versus Inter. I'm going with the classic here, baby. Both teams to score, and I am praying that we get a good matchup. I am tired of seeing these cagey 0-0, these 1-0 finals where you have great defensive units battling out and playing in their own half. That's not what's going to happen here. I know what everyone and their mother is going to say. They're going to say, Buckets, the last 6 Champions League finals have all seen both teams to score miss. And they're going to use that as an argument as to why it's not going to hit this year. Those last 6 did not have a rampaging PSG side taking on a chameleon of an Inter side that is capable of changing their play styles to play defensive when they need to, or to score 7 goals against Barcelona. I think we see goals in this matchup, and I think BTTS at -130 is extremely soft, because both of these teams, if they want to win, it's going to take multiple goals in this final.
Big Cheesy says RIP AirPod users because of your scream. And then I believe it was Matt F that said Buckets is proof of aliens.
Yeah, see,
Buckets,
I was going to say, that gets back to Danny's philosophical approach. What is an alien? Because I have encountered some people in this space who, like, what they are able to bring and what they are able to provide is so alien to me. The combination of depth of knowledge and depth of expertise while being so shallow in other areas. It's just like, that is amazing to me.
Oh my gosh, Sia, Jess Stenberg's comment that Sia predicted PSG would win weeks ago. You did predict that back when they were in the round of 16 because
That's
you just
right.
wanted to be a part of the conversation. So congratulations on that.
I was pretty, I was like, it was very staunchly said. I was very confident in my PSG pick. I'm just saying, like, you guys gave analysis, and I'm like, based on your analysis, I was like, PSG is winning this thing, even though neither you nor Martin picked PSG. All right, let's move on. By the way, there's some baseball picks. Big Cheesy, I see you in here. There's other people with baseball picks. We will have we were going to have Amags here today. He couldn't make it, but we do have one of Amags picks, and we have a SportsLine pick that some of you will really like, and most notably, Jeff Stenberg will not like. That's coming up in just a second, but let's get to one of two golf matchups first. Chip Patterson, talk to me about Max Grazerman.
A better golfer than what he showed yesterday. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so Max Grazerman, as we've seen, has had a pretty good season. He's not always going to run up there and win. He's not always going to get you a top 5, top 10. But for the most part, this is somebody who's been routinely turning in, top 25, top 30, top 40 kind of finishes. But man, like, they say drive for show, putt for dough. Max wasn't doing either of those good. And in particular, what stands out to me was how poor he was with the putter, because that is abnormal to what we normally see from Max Grazerman. He shot a 6 over 78. But you go into it and you dive in. A lot of it was just, not being able to score. He was playing okay, playing good on approach shots, just not able to make those putts that would allow him to stack up the birdies. Then he had an absolute explosion on the 14th hole, triple bogey, disaster across the board. But in general, again, approach game's good, meat and potatoes, the vegetables. Like, I think that the core of it is okay. Now, he's going up against Wyndham Clark, and we've got a little plus money opportunity against a player in Clark who, yes, when everything's going good, has a higher ceiling. I understand why his rating is as such, but buddy, it was chaotic yesterday. We're talking 7 bogeys, a double bogey, 3 birdies, a total geometry card. And Clark lost strokes in all 5 major categories. So I've got a little bit of plus money. I've got the knowledge that Grazerman is not as bad of a putter as he showed yesterday. I've got the fact that the core of his game, the foundation of it, that approach play is still so much better than where Wyndham's at. So give me Max Grazerman a little bit of plus money against Wyndham Clark here on Friday.
All right. Max Grazerman over Wyndham Clark. We're looking to bounce back with the putter. Buckets.
For probably the first and only time in my life, if you guys will entertain me, I have a golf story. Not much of a golfer, but I will say the memorial is taking place in the city I live, and the buses that are shuttling people to the course are right by my complex. The other day I was walking around and I just got on one of the buses, no reason at all. I just wanted to see what would happen. I went down, I sat in the bus in the back, and one of the ladies came up to me. I think based on what I was wearing, she goes, pretty much said, "Are you supposed to be here?" But she's like, "Are you going to the memorial?" And I said, "Oh, no, I just wanted to kind of see what the fuss was about." And I got kicked off the bus. So that's my only golf story I have so far. But there's a lot of people here right now that are dressed like golfers. It's very interesting.
Yeah, we would have had a Scotty Scheffler moment with him trying to get into the gates. I mean, you would have
arrested
officer's pants and taken.
I mean, I'm wearing like my anime T-shirt and like baggy sweatpants, and she's like, "Are you supposed to be here?" And I said, "No, you caught me."
You could have Happy Gilmore'd it, man. You were right there.
Oh,
if I may, Bucket, so I just want to be clear on the story. You decided that because there was some sort of free shuttle leading to potentially nowhere, you were going to get on because you thought it would be a fun experience.
If you ever don't hear from me again, it's because I saw a bus and was like, I wonder what the hype's about, and then I'm off to some farm in North Dakota or something. I don't know.
Again, incredible depth of knowledge and expertise in some areas, and just still so shallow.
It was exciting. People seemed happy that people were drinking outside the hotel. I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, the same thing happens with Colts. Buckets.
Here, drink one of these.
Alien behavior. That is definitely alien behavior. All right. Let's talk about BetMGM account holders and what they're going to get today. They receive an MLB home run boost token today. To use the token, add an MLB home run wager to your bet slip and activate the token. Score extra winnings if you win your wager that was made with the odds boost token. Perhaps this is a good time. Claire helping us out on the 1s and 2s. Can you pull up the home run graphic so people can oh, wow, that was really fast. Okay. We've got Ozuna, Abreu, and Marte. And it looks like the biggest value here per the SportsLine model is on Ketel Marte, plus 280 versus plus 480. Absolutely love that. But these are 3 home run picks that if you decide you want to pick one of these guys and bet a home run prop. You can use that BetMGM MLB home run boost token. And if you have a home run that you want to talk to us about, then let us know. Let us know in the chat. And I got to say, speaking of the chat, hopefully you all have hit the like button, but I'm looking at the poll that Claire put out. And if Chip, Danny, Buckets, if you haven't seen it, it's very simple question, very to the point. Do aliens exist? So far, we only have 105 votes, but that's a decent enough sample size. 84% say yes. Interesting. I would have thought it would have been in like the 65-35 range. 84% is extremely decisive. Brasco, did you have something to add?
No, I like the clarity on it. I feel like that poll should be as, look, we don't have all the answers, but that and like flat earth stuff is right next to each other. I think 85% of people in America would believe that the earth is round. I also think that they think that we're not the only beings to exist in the universe.
What's the Venn diagram of flat earthers, aliens don't exist? I just asked that out loud. I don't have the answer.
I think it's like 85%.
Okay.
It like intersecting. That's my take on that. By the way, Jeffrey Aguilar says no MLB picks. That's incorrect, Jeffrey. Good point that we don't have we don't have like Sniper on or Amex, but we have 2 SportsLine picks. So let's give those out right now, Claire, before we hit a break and get to some more like UFC and golf and we answer some of your questions. We've got Luis Ortiz over 5.5 total pitcher strikeouts at -122. That was the pick that Amags was going to give when he was on the show. Couldn't make the show today, but he has the write-up at SportsLine, so go check that out. Luis Ortiz over 5.5 total pitcher strikeouts. And then we've got the Yankees money line in LA, Jeff Hockman, and we've got a few others on this one. I think this line has now moved to like -120, -122. I know we had a SportsLine expert that was willing to take it at -130 as well, but Jeff Hockman got this one in. New York Yankees money line -108. It looks like Fried is on the mound. Trying to remember, Gonsolin, I think, is starting for the Dodgers. Pretty good pitching matchup there for the Yankees, who are still out on the West Coast. All right, let's get to we got a couple more picks to get to. Danny, I got to get to you. We got to get to some chat stuff. We're going to do it right after this message from our partners.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 glorious Sundays.
He's got his receiver touchdown.
Filled with rematches.
Oh, the play of the year.
And rivalries.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Plus, plenty of superstar showdowns. And an epic matchup between the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Clear your Sundays beginning September 7th for the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
We're back on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. A lot of alien talk. The 84% is now down to 83%. And by the way, just so everybody knows, I don't really have a huge take one way or the other. So to the extent I might have sounded like very doubtful of the alien thing, I guess I am, but like I get the other side of the argument in a huge way. So I don't want anybody to think I was being condescending in any way to that alternative. Yeah, and Buckets is pretty upset.
I can tell you've never been abducted before. It's embarrassing.
Well, yeah, fair. Go ahead, Brasco.
Neither did I. No condescension meant. My friend Buckets believes very firmly that he and his sister were abducted when they were 8 years old. And I also noticed in the chat, my man Ian Lights Out, I need to know more about this. He said, flat earth is for amateurs. Y'all need to learn about hollow moon. Hollow moon?
Yes! I love this.
Put me on game, bro.
I don't know what that is. That's a research assignment for later, but Chip Patterson is out on that one. All right, maybe I can lure Chip Patterson back in with my golf pick.
What?
Yeah, like I'm currently worried as the host as to what that is. Like we're not even sure. Like, but I got to research it. We got to research it. Buckets doesn't even know what it is, which is actually quite alarming. Round 2 ball. This one starts, I think, around 1 o'clock, maybe 12:30. Christian Bezuidenhout over Steven Yeager. I'm paying a little bit of juice here, -125. So if you watch the early wedge on Monday and Tuesday, you know this guy was brought up on the DFS show, on the betting show. I didn't invest a lot of money in him in terms of the betting show. I didn't have a play on him, but he almost made my top 30 card at plus money. What I love about Seabez, yesterday he was okay. He shot better than Steven Yeager, but he wasn't like great in any particular metric. What I love about Seabez and why I liked him coming to this tournament, he's played here 4 times. As far as I know, he's played 4 times. And in his last 4, He's gained on approach every time. He's gained with the putter every time. And what I love about his game, especially what we saw yesterday, he's going to hit it in the fairway almost every time. I believe he was 12 of 14 in terms of hitting fairways, which is exactly what you need to do here. He's not a long hitter, and that's kind of a mark against him. But if you're keeping it in the fairway and you consistently come to Muirfield and you gain on approach and you gain with the putter, I'm going to be in your corner. Steven Jaeger, he's got a cut here and he's got, I think, a top 25, but I just don't think his game caters to what CBS can do specifically with his experience at this course. So give me CBS minus 125 over Steven Jaeger. All right, we got to get to some UFC. Danny Brasco, talk to me. We got a few bets here.
Man, this is hard because I'm so distracted by this talk. This is fascinating, intellectual discussion. Someone's talking about, well, this disproves religion. But my comment about Quetzalcoatl and what people see as God or how you might define that can take many mediums. So I could talk about this for days. On to UFC we go. Let's punch each other in the face instead. And the first one, it's a lot simpler, right? A lot easier to get your mind around. But first up, we're going with a fight that's pretty much pick 'em odds, and I like our matchup here. I'm going with Macy Chiasson on the money line. Ladies going after it here. And she's minus 125. I think she's got the edge here with her reach advantage and her height. She's a really big fighter for the 135-pound division, and she utilizes her physique really well. She uses this snappy jab from range. She throws this long right cross. I almost blasted my camera on my computer with that. Kind of throws it like the Conor McGregor Celtic cross snap at the end of it. And she utilizes her Muay Thai with the knees and the clinch really well. Her opponent, Ketlin Vieira, is a skilled grappler, but her best asset, I feel like, is just neutralizing other fighters. She's kind of boring. She holds you up against the cage. She's just looking for head position and clinch control. And I don't think Chiasson will be stuck against the cage. I think she'll do more damage. She'll land more volume, and she'll be the more interesting, exciting fighter in this matchup and get the win. So take Chiasson with the big reach and height advantage to get this one done. Next up, you guys know I'm going with plus money. We're going to the co-main event of the evening. And I like Ludovic Klein on the money line in this one. This is a really good fight. One of the better fights on the card, I believe. He's taking on a relentless pressure wrestler in Mateusz Gamrot. And we know Gamrot is a guy that likes to weaponize his cardio. He's going to push the pace on you. He's going to look to drown you and see if you can keep up with his work rate. And he's coming off a really good fight against Dan Hooker, split decision loss in the last one. Everyone's really high on Dan Hooker. He's a lot of people's favorite fighter because he's just rough and rugged. And Gamrot put a lot of damage on Hooker in that fight. So maybe some people be high on him despite him losing the bout. I have to say, though, Hooker is a barroom brawler. The guy doesn't have much defense. He'll lose all of his teeth and smile about it. I think Klein has a lot better defense. He's this sound, compact kickboxer with a ton of power. He's got ripping uppercuts, nasty body kicks and low kicks. And I think if he's able to work back to his feet, stay off the fence, and keep this fight at kickboxing range for enough moments, he can hurt Gamrot. Gamrot's been knocked down by a lot of fighters, and you look at his record, it looks strong, but he's been hurt. He's been hittable. So his toughness is there, but I think it's going to come down to damage versus control. And if he's wearing more damage and bleeding and swollen up, I think Klein gets the nod on the judges' scorecards. But I see this one being a close one. Maybe you want to sprinkle Ludovic Klein by decision at plus 330 as well. Finally, let's close out with a two-leg money line parlay. These are two fighters I certainly think will get the job done. I'm going with Zach Reese and Aaron Blanchfield. Pair them up together, you get plus money. And I like Zach Reese facing a guy named Dusko Todorovic, who, frankly, guys, has been on auto fade for me in the UFC. He's 3-5, but his 3 wins are against guys that are no longer with the promotion, very low-level fighters. And in 5 of his losses, he's been finished pretty brutally. I think Reese has the power to put him down and then put him away on the ground. I see a ground-and-pound knockout for Reese. I'm pairing him with Erin Blanchfield in the main event of the evening. Her name is Blanchfield, but you might as well call her Blanchfield Magomedov because she has elite level wrestling. She's proven her 5-round cardio and durability in her last 2 fights against Manon Fiorot, title challenger, and Rose Namajunas, former champion. So she's taking on Macy Barber, rising prospect here. But this is Barber's first 5-round affair, and she throws a lot of heavy shots early in the fight. I think she might expend her energy early. Blanchfield, like I said, has proven her cardio and durability. So if she takes it in the depths, it's all Blanchfield from there. I like Blanchfield to get that one done in the main event. You pair them together, get a little 2-legger for plus 103. Good luck this weekend in the cage, guys. Let's win some UFC bets.
Stephen Cook says, anything Brasco bets, auto, tail, and parlay. I love Saturday nights when following the sharpest UFC bettor on earth. Hashtag Team Brasco. Brasco shadow account, Stephen Cook. Go ahead, Buckets.
I would argue that he's the sharpest UFC bettor in the whole galaxy. Woo!
Hey, man, I don't know who's out there on dwarf stars of Pluto and such. Maybe they work me, but, you know, got to go see some MMA on Venus.
Updating the poll, 78% believe that aliens exist. Of course, doing the math there, buckets, 22% do not believe that. Claire is in our little our private chat, and Claire says the hollow moon theory suggests that the moon is either completely hollow or contains a large interior space. This idea, often associated with conspiracy theories, posits that the moon is not a natural satellite, but an artificial structure or the result of an advanced alien civilization. Buckets, can you confirm or deny?
Well, just something to think about. You know, perspective, whoever the name Danny said earlier, Woffman, Goff, whatever the guy was, it's just something you want to consider.
Whoa, hey, listen, man. Don't.
I said Quetzalcoatl. He said Woffman Goff. That's crazy. You know, there's a show, and I don't know the legitimacy of it, but it's called Ancient Alien Civilizations. And they show a lot of famous architectural structures, how they perfectly align to the North Star. They have this incredible astrological alignment with the physical structure, whether it be the pyramids in Giza, you know, a lot of different famous sites. So that was interesting. I think there's something to be said about the knowledge that people had before tech was out, and they were able to read stars in certain ways that we don't anymore. So, you know, whatever you want to call alien, I think you can group that. We're just defining things in different ways.
I'm
Chip,
out
go ahead.
on Hollow Moon. I mean, still, like, like, we've got moons around other planets. We know that the moon seems to behave like moons on other planets. I mean, I think we've got too much moon. We've got too much in the books already on what moons are and sort of how they behave. So out on Hollow Moon.
Yes.
I'm going to give KC3 the last word here. He says, put some respect on Quetzalcoatl's name. And that begs the question, how did we get here on the early edge?
Harvest Moon over Hollow Moon. Let's go.
The game?
Harvest Moon, minus 140.
Sailor Moon for me and Buckets, I bet.
Howl at the Moon. Okay, we could do this all day. Let's take a look at the recap screen before we get you finally out of here. All right, I got a round two ball. Christian Bezadenhout minus 125 over Steven Yeager. And Chip has a round two ball. Max Grazerman plus 100, even money, over Wyndham Clark. Then we go to Buckets picks. We've got Sligo Rovers versus St. Patrick's Athletic. St. Patrick over 1.5 team total, minus 120. Thank you for the easy names. And then even easier, PSG versus Inter, both teams to score. This one's tomorrow at minus 130. I'm sure zero of you tailed my PSG play. I got to be honest, I forgot to bet it myself since I don't really usually bet soccer, but hopefully my prediction comes in. But either way, we're going both teams to score in that one, PSG versus Inter Champions League final. We go to UFC. Macy Chiasson money line minus 125. We've got Klein money line plus 136 and a two-leg money line parlay. Zach Reese money line plus Aaron Blanchfield money line at plus 103. And then how about a couple of SportsLine picks? We've got Luis Ortiz over 5.5 total pitcher strikeouts at minus 122. That one courtesy of A-Mags, and the Yankees money line minus 108 from Jeff Hockman. Rue comes in here, says, do we like Seabez over Yeager? Yeah, that's my pick. You might have come in here late, like literally in the last minute or so, but yeah, that's my pick. Christian Bezadenhout over Steven Yeager. Let's see. Great show, fellas and Claire. Love to see that. Why can't we do this all day at Sia Nejad? We could. It's a good idea. This is a fun conversation.
Take this to like a Twitter Spaces, and we'll just talk, philosophy for the next
No. See, I think we've got an opportunity here, because I think that the more that we talk about alien conspiracy theories, we're going to get slipped into the YouTube algorithm for a lot of other YouTube stuff. we can drive this audience up if we just sit here and keep talking about conspiracy theories, moons, aliens, and such. I mean, it's like, whenever I mentioned Arch Manning back in the day, I would always say Arch Manning, just to pump the algorithm as much as possible. If we make conspiracy theories a regular part of Big Pick Energy, I surmise that we would see Friday as the highest trafficked big show of the week.
Big conspiracy energy Friday.
There you go. We've got people talking about the moon landing and how that may not have been real. Like we have opened up a can of worms that, like, I feel like we need like a social show, like a pop culture or conspiracy theory show with some of the personalities from SportsLine. I think that would be super fun. All right. Howl at the Moon Buckets. I see you changed your name. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. Hollow moon buckets. All right. We gotta get you all out of here.
Why
Thank
would
you,
they
Chip
howl
Patterson.
at the moon if the moon was an artificial structure?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Well, maybe it's like a satellite, though. Maybe it's like a communication device. On behalf of Chip Patterson, on behalf of Danny Brasco, on behalf of Buckets and Claire and all of the conspiracy theories out there and alien life forms, the poll closed with 167 votes. 78% do believe aliens exist. Larry Hartstein is in the chat wondering what the heck is going on here.
Yes, Larry. Quetzalcoatl, Larry. Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, catch up, Mustard. All right, we've got let's have a great Friday, everybody. Let's have a great Friday. Again, on behalf of this crew and on behalf of all of you for participating in the picks, but in all of the extra stuff too. That's what makes it fun. Do not forget to bet responsibly. Have fun doing this. That is absolutely paramount. This is the Early Edge. We rest our case.